All right. Wow. Lohit, 2 weeks in a row. We're back. Can you
It's
believe it?
magical, man. It's
I
all
know.
magic.
I know. We finally find some time to do this. Hopefully, we'll do it on a more regular basis. Well, hello,
Absolutely.
everybody. Welcome to the Cupcake Collectible channel. And I'm once again back as your special guest host, Ben, and with our regular host, the marvelous Maple Leaf Maverick, Lohit himself. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. And if I ever opened a YouTube channel by myself, that's what I'm
Yeah,
calling myself. The
that's a great
marvelous
one.
Maple Leaf host. You know,
Yeah.
the reason for that is because I'm in Canada. So,
Mhm.
where the maple leaves are pretty famous.
Right.
So it totally makes sense.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
get that Canadian audience in, man. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, globalize. So that's
Well,
what we're
let's
doing.
get down to business, my friend.
Let's
So
get
this week, we'll start with DC as always. I only have one DC book this week. It's here we go. Batman Superman, World's Finest #6. It's written by Mark Waid and it's art by guest artist by Travis Moore. I'm actually surprised that not see Dan Mora's art for this one because I expected to see Dan Mora's art. But
The
I
cover
think
illustrator is Dan Mora. The cover is
huh?
done by Dan Mora. The
It's by
cover
Travis
is
Moore.
done by Dan Mora. Only the insides are done by Travis Moore this time.
What? Say that again?
Cover is done by Dan
Yeah,
Mora.
yeah. No, no, we're not talking about cover. We're talking about interior art, buddy.
Yeah, interior art. I know.
All right. I mean, not that Travis Moore is a bad artist. I think he's a very competent and capable, filling artist while Dan Moore is away. But I do hope Dan Moore does come back for the next issue.
Yeah, I hope so
Yeah.
too. And I don't
Um,
know the how the next. I don't think the next book is called Batman Superman World's Finest #7.
let me hold on. Look up. Let me get to. See, that's what I thought too. I mean, it is still no. There's two. Mark Waid's gonna write two books. One is this book, continuation of World's Finest. Then he's doing a 3-issue miniseries called Batman versus Robin. That's coming out next month.
Mhm.
Which I thought that Batman vs Robin was the continuation of the previous story where Robin gets lost in time after trapping the devil Nazar. But that's not the case. I guess this happens here because this is where what do you call it? Robin's lost in time, and Superman, Batman, and Batman try to find him. I think this is I don't think this is as good as I mean I guess it's only one issue story, but I
Yeah,
don't think it's
just a
good
one
as
shot.
yeah I don't think it's as good as the I mean still very good. I don't think it's
Okay,
as good as the previous
you
one.
know.
Yeah, I mean what are you gonna do? It's a solo story. It's
Yeah,
the art is nice. Mark Waid knows what he's doing.
yeah.
The basic premise is I think it takes place in the 1850s, something like that. No, nine.
I think it was somewhere in the 1930s or something.
Right, yeah, 1930. So Robin is lost in time there. He works for a circus where circus animals are blamed for death of the circus performers. So Robin's job is to try to find who's really behind it and make sure these circus animals doesn't get killed. I thought it was pretty solid. What do you think? Did you read this?
I did, I did. It's pretty brilliant. I mean, it's one of like a Dick Grayson spin-off kind of a book, like a solo book for Dick Grayson, solo story,
Yeah,
and eventually Superman and Batman come to help him out
right.
in quest or whatever. And I always like the fact that he goes back to the circus and lives his glory days as a kid again.
Yes, yes,
So and yeah, I would always think that what would like if you had to go back in time or something, then what is that like skill you have which would
right,
like get you through. So
right.
for
Of
example, if
course,
you're a
the
carpenter or something, you can go
translations.
back to 1920s and find a job still.
Right.
So the same thing Robin did, like he's a circus act, he's a circus performer, and the
He's an
circus was,
acrobat, and and people love him.
yeah. So and people love him because he's an amazing aerobatics
He's also a
artist.
very likable person.
Yeah. So and he's a
Which,
likable person. So
which
yeah,
Tom Taylor shows that in Nightwing issue after issue. That
absolutely.
that Dick
Absolutely.
Grayson's a very likable person, and I always been a big fan of Dick Grayson.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Always. I always have been. And the Nightwing, I've read the Nightwing. I've followed Nightwing since the Tim Seeley days, and even Chuck Dixon days. So yeah, Nightwing has been he's consistent and he's like always Mr. Dependable.
right.
So yeah, there you go.
All right, that's my only book, DC book of the week. How about you? What do you got?
I have a couple of more books of
Of course
DC.
you do. All right, my friend.
So yeah, so this is the next book. It's called Batman the Night, #8. and it's written by Chip Zdarsky. So again, there are 10,000 solo Batman books floating around all the time, other than the main Batman book.
Right.
Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are Elseworld, some of them are connected in continuity.
Right.
This one is like the Batman Begins, so it's an origin story of Bruce Wayne trying to learn and hone on his skills and all. So yeah, so in this book particularly is one of those, he's almost at the end of his phase, which means that all of his trainings from all these professionals from the world is complete. And what he's trying to do now is like he goes to this teacher. He's like this kind of penultimate teacher or something. And this guy, Anton, who basically goes on to become, what's it, Ghost Maker or Ghost Hunter? Or you always Ghost Maker, right? So Ghost Maker, who was Anton, is also on the same journey as Bruce Wayne. And he's also like, but he's not, he's somewhat shady. Bruce Wayne thinks he's a bad guy, and you never know, he doesn't understand his motivations yet. And and Ghostmaker tries to, or Anton tries to come, and flip on his plans, so flip on his game. And yeah, that's what the book is all about, and how it culminates, going further. It's a good book. There are like different teachers Bruce Wayne goes to, and finally, I mean, this is 8 out of 10, so only 2 more issues to go for this. When it's collected in a trade or something, I think it would read very good as a trade, because it has the Chip Zdarsky moments. There are emotional moments. It's not the same kind of ripoff where you've seen it hundreds of times. Oh, Bruce Wayne went and did some training and all. It makes sense of why he goes on training with this particular person. What does he teach him? What is the skill he learns? How does he develop it and all? So
I heard a lot about this particular issue. Okay, there's a little controversy with this issue, and which is something what DC's like to do. Why are they trying to make all their characters gay? In this one, they said, they heavily hinted that Bruce and Anton have a romantic relationship, and I was like, why do they keep doing this? And also, this book is written by Zdarsky, right? The current Batman writer.
Right.
So makes what he writes a little more important than, say, your John Ridley and then your Tom King's, when they write, like a story that's not really truly canon. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think it does hamper the main story in any way or something at the moment, at least.
I think that DC likes to, in recent years, they're really trying to, just make a gay version of each one of their major characters. I think outside the Flash, they have gay versions of every character.
Not just DC, I think, I mean, like, canonically, inclusivity is like high in all the entertainment industry, whether it be Hollywood or Marvel or DC or whoever. So
DC does it far more heavy-handed than everybody else.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they want to capitalize on the readership, include everyone or something.
But it's not working though. You've seen the sales number. They're not that great. Majority they got maybe like a 15 to 18 books out of top 50. I mean top 100 selling book of the month. It's not obvious it's not working. I don't know what they're trying, what kind of readership they're really trying to appeal to, but it's not working.
I don't know, but I quite enjoyed this book. All I can say is talk about is this particular.
Well, Zdarsky, Zdarsky's one of our favorite writers, and he just does nothing but solid job. So I'm sure this is overall a very good series, but this is one issue. I don't know what is it, because
I know the talks which people have begun for that particular panel,
right.
But that's the only panel. I mean, it doesn't heavily overall the book doesn't deal with anything of that. There's a story, there's a Zdarsky path, and he follows that path. And I I'm
just wondering if the DC make them do that, because I remember when the whole after Jonathan Kent, right, the whole thing of him coming out is that eventually Tom Taylor said DC made him do that. That wasn't really part of the original story. DC wanted a big publicity stunt and made him do that storyline. You know what I mean?
In the end, it's the company that owns the characters, man. So they dictate the storyline.
I just find it extremely, I don't know, underwhelming when they do like PR stunts like this. They just kind of turn off for me as a reader.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's move on to the next DC book, which basically I read. What is that?
DC vs. Vampires?
DC versus Vampires. That is perfectly it. So All Out War. Oh yeah. So Yeah, this is part 2 of this All Out War spin-off,
Right.
which is from DC versus Vampires. So there's 6 issues in this, total 6 issues. This is the second one, and this basically is like a separate storyline during this whole DC versus Vampire Elseworld event. So of course, the name is self-explanatory that the DC universe has been converted into like vampires because vampires have invaded the regular universe, and there are these bunch of people who are like survivors, and
Right.
that includes Deathstroke and his clan basically. So and then they're trying to they're trying to escape the vampire covens, but the vampire covens trying to find them and convert them all. So it's kind of a survivor's tale, where everything is lost, all hope is lost, the best kind of tales,
I love it.
and there's Constantine who shows up, and it's kind of like a suicide mission, so they figure out that there is a Lazarus pit in existence and they really want to find it. And suddenly the Wonder Woman vampire version descends on them with all her hordes and she brutally like attacks everyone. And what happens next is what the book is all about. You don't have to read it like necessarily. If you're just following the DC versus Vampire, the main book, you can do that. But it's a fun little issue, and it's there are stakes. The stakes are huge in this.
Well, stakes are you kill vampires though.
I mean, the stake. Yeah, the no pun intended. I would say now. That's a good one. Good catch, Ben. So
Thank you.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a good fun ride. I've been following all of this DC versus vampires. So I like the zombie books, the vampire books. There's a zombie book and a vampire book, and DC.
Now you need werewolf books.
We need werewolf books and Frankenstein books now. So that's probably next.
Actually, I gotta ask you about this series, okay? Because the regular series is co-written by Matthew Rosenberg and James Tynion.
That's
right. This is Matthew Rosenberg does a solo on this one. How's he doing by himself?
Matthew Rosenberg is a veteran, in the comic book industry. He's done X-Men, couple of good X-Men runs, and also, so yeah, he can hold his ground. He's written this thing called Task Force Z.
That was a fun read.
That was a fun read, man. I loved it. So I'm still reading it, So yeah,
it's still going on.
I think it's still going on.
Is it ongoing series or like a max?
I think it's like 12 issues, and I think we are like right now on the penultimate issue, if I remember it correctly. Okay. So yeah, but he can hold his own. So I mean, his writing is solid. He makes these characters interesting. He has stakes because it's Elseworld, so he can like kill anyone. So that gives him a lot of free reign to take all of these characters. So and it's become something brilliant, So and another thing I want to mention for this book is it has the black and white and red kind of art. So the
cool.
Interior art it's not like all the colorful you see on the outside on the cover. It's black and white and kind of reddish kind of an art, which also gives it a little bit of a different style and a thematic theme.
Gotcha. Okay.
But so not again. Good issue, not a must read, but yeah.
It sounds like a fun read.
Yeah, it's a fun read. So bonkers kind of a thing. And, yeah. And the last book I read is Nightwing, issue number 95. Let's give them the sexy cover. Yeah, because why not? So yeah, so Nightwing 95 it's continuing the story. It progresses the story quite a bit because
it's actually making progression.
Yeah, it is. So this is it's Blockbuster versus Nightwing, like the final battle. It's almost there, and they do face each other, So at least it's trying to complete that part of the storyline. There is that Heartless part, if you remember. Still like a dangling thread. So, but Blockbuster, the main bad guy in Bloodhaven versus Nightwing, Dick Grayson. He's got help from the Bat Family. He's bringing in other people also, to help out. Maggie Sawyer is now the commissioner of Bloodhaven. She's been brought in from Metropolis. So, and they're trying to work with the police in trying to take down Blockbuster, who still has, some things up his sleeve. So, yeah, I can't tell you more than that. There's a big reveal in the end. Something people find out that, wow, oh God, which could go into many directions, for Dick Grayson. So yeah, I'm still enjoying it. It's Tom Taylor's book, and he's I think it's not the best of the best books I've ever read during the week, but it's still entertaining. So and I'm still excited.
I mean, if anything else, you do have Redondo's art, who is amazing.
There you go. So
yeah, Redondo is a fantastic artist.
Absolutely. So, and that makes it more better because I don't know, his art just pops. It's like Chris Samney.
It's true. I can't knock that. I mean, like, if anything, the art is gorgeous. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Covered by Nicholas Scott is also not that bad. So
yeah,
it's not. So yeah. I think that's all my DC books.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Marvel Comics now. Marvel Comics. There's a couple books I read, a couple books I didn't read. The first book I'm gonna go to is Hulk #8, and I got something to say about this book. So this is this Donny Cates, art by Daniel Warren Johnson. So boy, this book came out 2 months late.
Mm-hmm.
You know this, and this is the last part of Banner War, where the Hulk with Thor's hammer versus a hulked up Thor. I gotta say, it might be just because this book was 2 months late. It doesn't have any momentum, because I think I had this discussion with you and our friend Dan about this book when I was like, wow, this book's finally coming out. When all three of us would say the same thing. It's like, what happened in the last issue? Because this is what happens when you're shipping delay is this bad, because I have no idea what happened in the last issue. So I'm trying to read this and try to catch up. And I gotta say, it is very anticlimactic. And unfortunately, this will be my final issue of Donny Cates' Hulk. Yeah, it's not doing anything for me.
I gave up on it months ago, as you know.
I think Lohit is the smarter person between the both of us by not wasting his time and money on this series, which is unfortunate, because when issue 1 dropped, this had so much promise, and gradually it just become such a fatigue to read, despite being Donny Cates, who's a big name in the industry. Also, again, being 2 months late does not help the cause at all.
But even Thor hasn't come out.
No, Thor's very late too. No, the Thor is very late. And
did Donny Cates go on a vacation to Hawaii or something? I don't know. I mean,
well, I wish he is, because if maybe he needs some time off to actually give me something good. I know that. Are you reading Vanish next month? The one he does, the image book he does with Ryan Stegman.
The premise was intriguing enough. Maybe I'll pick up the first issue. So
I pre-ordered it from was it DCBS because it's half off covers. Like, I'll give it.
I still have to read Crossover too, because you told me that Crossover is pretty good.
Crossover is very, what's the term? Masturbatory, written by Donny Cates. Basically, him just giving himself.
That's a word I don't use in a sentence so frequently.
It's basically him giving himself an ego stroke. I mean, it's okay.
There you go. So yeah,
there's a lot of insight, industry insight stuff. Which, if you enjoy that, it's fun. Actually, it's not bad.
What I remember about this book is that Odin enters the starship Hulk, and then he confronts Bruce Banner, and something happens, and that's it. And then after that, I lost my train of thought. Like, what went down? What was Thor?
I thought that had actually had promise, but as the series progressed along, I was like, this is where they're going. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Although, what do you call it? Start off of Banner of War actually wasn't bad. I thought the first issue, Alpha. Actually, I thought it was pretty good.
Is this the last issue? May I ask you? Is this the last issue? Is it done?
This is the last part. That's why I find the whole thing anticlimactic, because the way it ended was like, whatever. Is that what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. How would they even collect it? Like, I think the first Hulk trade paperback came, and then of course they're going to make a Hulk versus Thor trade, which will have all of this. But does the second Hulk trade paperback continue because that wouldn't make sense for anyone who picks it up if they just put this issue singularly there instead of
maybe they'll double dip something.
I think they will ditch. I think they'll just go for the next Hulk arc and then just start from issue 9.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
Oh yeah, it makes more sense.
All right.
What is next, Marvel? What is next on the Marvel?
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna read. I haven't got issue 1 because I ordered from what do you call it? DCBS. This is Edge of Spider-Verse #2, written by Dan Slott. It has the first appearance of Spider UK, which is, I guess, is like a British Spider Girl, whatever. Anyways,
they just call her Spider UK, or
yeah. She's called Spider UK.
So she calls herself Spider UK. That's the best name she could come up with.
Hey, ask Dan. You know what? Ask Dan Slott. It's like, Dan Slott, why can't you be more creative with names?
I mean, Spider Punk was pretty creative. Spider UK, really? Okay, Spider UK.
I don't know.
I'm here to catch you
anyway,
dead.
So dude, I'll read this when my issue 1 comes out. I do mean to read this, but there you go. Edge of Spider-Verse number 2. Whatever. And then Star Wars The Mandalorian number 2. This is just the comic book adaptation of the 2nd episode of the 1st season of the show, right? Although it is for spec market wise, this is the first appearance of Baby Yoda, Grogu. So if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, this is it's actually worth picking up because it might be worth some money down the line.
Okay.
And speaking of spec value, Star Wars number 26. Now, this is a big one. He's supposed to have 8 new characters in this. So if one of them get put in the Disney Plus shows, this book's gonna worth some money. So again, a spec book, if you can get it for cover, go get it in cover.
A lot of people are into it for the CGC 9.8 stuff also. So and I know you have been playing around, you've dabbled around a lot in this. So yeah, why not?
Yeah. So anyways, spec book. Is this any good? I don't know. Am I gonna read it? Probably not. But if you want to sell it, and a couple years down the line, for like $30-$40, let's pick this one up. And that is all my Marvel books, my friend. What about yourself? What Marvel books
I have a couple of Marvel books. So one of them is, of course, Mrs. Zdarsky's Daredevil Part 2.
I did. What do you call it? I'm getting that. That's also part of my DCBS order.
So this is called Daredevil 2, but it's actually like a Daredevil issue number 650. So it's the 650th issue of Daredevil ever since issue 1.
Right.
So I did not know that. I thought it's just Zdarsky issue 2, and I just went in and expecting a Zdarsky story, but turns out there's a lot in here. So turns out that's why it's a good issue too. Like I had fun reading it. So it's a little bit. So basically, the premise of this issue is there's this old guy, like one of Matt's university friends or something. He's called Goldie. I don't know if he's been ever featured in any of the previous Daredevil books or not. But this guy apparently has powers of whisper or something. He's so he can like whisper things into people's minds, and he can impact them somehow, And his whole idea is that he needs to make Daredevil more stronger, and how does he do that? Only by causing more pain in his life. So the issue starts with so Daredevil's ex-girlfriend or like fiance or lover, whoever, she's on a train and he makes the train explode, and basically Daredevil thinks that she's dead, and and he goes after the train and all, and he confronts this guy who says that everything that has happened bad in your life, things like Elektra Nachios' dad getting killed and all, he's been responsible for it somehow.
What?
So yeah, it's a weird take. His name is Goldie or something, and he's responsible for all the bad things. And because he was one of in the shadows, and somehow he influenced the people who shot Elektra Nachios' dad. He was influenced somehow, people who kill Ken Page, so on and so forth. That's how it's shown in this book. So, and the reason why he does it is because he wants to become make Matt a better version of himself. That's his idea. That's his whole goal.
That is very dark.
It's very dark. So at the same time, it features a plethora of artists. So, so you get something from Soul's run, you get something from Brubaker's run, you get something from panels from all these runs, done by these artists. So if you've been reading all of those older runs, you'll immediately flip, oh, that's from Mark Waid, Marco Cicchetto is doing that art, or Cliff Chang is doing that art. Oh, this one is done by Alex Maleev, and so on and so forth. So that was fun. And I think at the end, they give you all the covers. From issue 1 to issue 650, they do like 3 pages of all the Daredevil covers.
Oh, that's really cool.
which is fun to look at, but they're small. So I mean, you
Right.
can still
Yeah, I know the tiny like plump.
tiny bubbles. So yeah, like they put on behind the omnibuses and stuff. So yeah, they do that, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's a 650 issue number 650. Then I got it like, okay, it's one of those anniversary kind of things. So they wanted to like include the whole Daredevil universe together. There are a couple of single paged stories too in this at the end. One
Right.
of them is pretty comedic. Because now Elektra is also like Daredevil. So
Right.
Bullseye comes in. I mean, it's like a Scotty Young kind of art, and he says, "Hey, there you go, Daredevils," because both of them are. So there are like many jokes like that, which is it's pretty fun. I think overall as a book, it was
like I said,
pretty good.
as soon as I get it, I'm gonna read it. You know, I actually, you know what I got is the that Phil Sienkiewicz Electro Predator cover. I think that's so cool looking.
Oh, that is pretty cool. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So I liked it. I mean, like for what it was better than issue 1 because I was not very confident. Like, why did they rename it to renumber it to issue 1? And instead of like it's Zdarsky issue 37 or something. So but I mean, yeah, I mean, I want to see where this Goldie guy goes next, and what happens next. So yeah, I think it's a pretty fun read if you're following the Daredevil mythology all along. So which as I have and you have, so so yeah, Daredevil still one of a couple of the strongest books in Marvel.
Now, rumor has it Zdarsky's only writing the first story arc. I think that's the first 6 issues. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. Okay. I hope he continues to do this book for a long time because it's so good.
I don't know. Batman and Daredevil are like quintessential DC and Marvel characters. Same guy is writing them. Has that ever happened before? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. So dude's got
especially given that Disney Plus is giving an 18-episode Born Again series to Daredevil in what year or so.
Absolutely.
I think they're really.
Frank Miller has written Batman and Daredevil before, but I don't think he was doing both of them at the same time.
Right. I mean, probably the only thing is you've seen that was when they actually did that Batman Daredevil crossover issue.
Okay, my next Marvel book, it's basically we step into the great best Marvel writer, best ongoing Marvel writer. He's called Jed MacKay, and this is MacKay universe. So
don't know that guy.
This is
I don't know what you're talking.
He's a Canadian,
Oh, he's a Maple Leaf Maverick like you.
Absolutely, a Maple Leaf Maverick like me. So his first book, I read 3 books from him.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
So this which is phenomenal. One guy doing 3 books in Marvel, and so yeah. So this is Iron Cat number 3. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's a continuation of his like Black Cat Felicia Hardy storyline. So Iron Cat is basically about this ex-con from Felicia Hardy's past life when she was a super criminal and all. She still is a criminal. But so she trains with Felicia Hardy, and now she's got some beef to settle with Felicia Hardy because Felicia Hardy got their like mentor killed. So not on purpose, accidentally, but she doesn't know that. So she wants to take revenge from Felicia, and how she does that is basically taking on this Iron Cat armor, which Felicia creates in one of those Jed MacKay's previous Black Cat runs.
And
yeah,
I think it's like Black Cat number 11 from the previous series.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's got I just remember the really pretty J. Scott Campbell cover.
Oh, that was awesome. So J. Scott Campbell can do like Felicia Hardy, the best possible way. So his covers are like really awesome. So yeah. So so this is again, as you can see on the cover, that Felicia gets her Tony Stark armor, and it's basically a battle between Tamara, who's basically the bad girl, and Felicia Hardy. So them going on against toe-to-toe, them trying to top each other, So, and at the same time, Tony Stark is also there in this. And he has like, so this lady, Tamara Blake, I think she's called. She has this villain from ex-Tony Stark's life. Her name, I forget. It's Madam Menace, I guess. And she's like this AI who can spread through like computer systems and networks and all and take over everything. So basically so she's taking help from Madam Menace, Tamara, trying to take over Tony Stark's tech. And Felicia and Tony are up against her. So that's what the whole story is about. It's pretty interesting. Again, does it have like super high stakes or something and it's going to change the Marvel universe? No. Is it fun? Yes. Did I love it? Yeah, I liked it. It's good.
Okay.
And
Lohit liked it. It's fun.
it is
Get
fun.
it, people. Support Lohit's picks.
Absolutely. It's this is the first book from the McKay universe. I'll try to see if I can find the second one. The second book from the McKay universe is basically called Strange, and that is this one.
Yeah, Strange.
It's not Stephen Strange, but it's Clear Strange. You know, Charlize Theron from the Marvel movies.
The
So
widow of the late Dr. Stephen Strange, who's now the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth.
yes, so she's the wife of Stephen Strange, and she's taken over now the mantle for Sorcerer Supreme. And basically, her goal is to like resurrect. She wants to bring Doctor Strange back from the dead, and she's trying everything in her power, in her magical abilities. She's more stronger than Stephen Strange because not only is she the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth, but she's also the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. So she's like dual Sorcerer Supreme. So yeah, so and she's dealing with these like crooks basically, like this magic order, anti-magic order, who are trying to like they're like literally they're trying to screw up magic, and so she's there to kind of save the day and all. But where this story begins is like her mother is Umar. She's one of those like omega level kind of beings, and she comes to her house for dinner, and her house gets attacked by these this magic order group. And now what has happened is basically that they're trying to reanimate the souls of the dead. This group, they have found a way. And there is also the Sorcerer Supreme of Death called Harvest Man. Who is this Harvest Man? Where did he come from? It's not explained. But then he's basically, he comes to Clea and he tells her that we got to stop him. And that's the whole story. And she's trying to bring, and so she says, I will help you, but on one condition is that you bring Stephen Strange back to life, because you are Sorcerer Supreme of Death, Mistress Death, like the Thanos death. So yeah, so that's where things are unfolding. It's Jed McKay. I'm sure he has something good planned for this one. So at the end, the last 2 pages was bonkers. It was not the end I was expecting. Like, if you read, this is the 5th book. I read the 1st book, the 2nd book, the 3rd book, the 4th book. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. Because there was no like big antagonist or something. It's just a magic order of like bunch of people. Clea can just zap them like that, so no challenge. The last 2 panels of this book makes it all into like, oh, okay, I get it. Now I get it. Now I get what he was trying to do. So yeah, so it's going into like, it wasn't a surprise or an ending I was not expecting. So, and so yeah, so I don't know. Harvest Man, has he ever been there before? Or
I don't recall the character.
Okay, so fair enough. So you need to get the first appearance of Harvest Man.
No, I'm good, thank you.
There you go. Could be a spec book, you never know.
But no, Bill and Specs usually doesn't last long. So unless you look on like Doctor Doom, Magneto type, usually
Spider UK, you bought Spider UK. That's not gonna go anywhere. I'm telling you, it's gonna be.
I don't know, man. Once that Edge of Spider-Verse, Into Spider-Verse comes out, there are all sorts of these spider characters being there. You never know.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to tell you, there is a Moon Knight crossover too. So Moon Knight,
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard Moon Knight comes and check in on her
because she wants to resurrect her dead husband. So she goes to Moon Knight and she says that, hey man, you die all the time and you come back. How do you do it? And he's like, Conchu, because I have a trump card and he's called Conchu. So, so
gotcha.
That was fun because Jed McKay is also writing Moon Knight. So, so it makes total sense that he would.
Our agreement, which is Marvel's best ongoing series.
Absolutely. Totally. So, so yeah, so that was a little.
And that's our Marvel books for the week.
Yeah, that was my McKay universe and I loved it because.
I don't have any image books this week. How about you?
I have one image book this week, and that is this
20th Century Man, number 1.
Number 1. and that's my only physical book.
How was it?
So, pretty interesting, man. It's a solid book. The writing is on par. I don't know who Daniel Camp is. I only know Aditya Bidekar from this,
Yeah.
who's the letterer. He's one of the best letterers in the business. But I never heard of this guy before. And if this is his first book, then man, I mean, he's a very good writer. You know, he knows his subject, he knows his themes. I quite enjoyed it, and yeah, I mean, it's probably my pick of the week. So it was that good.
Wow.
So,
Pick of the week, people. Buy it.
yeah. So what is this about? So if you're like a little bit of a history buff or something, then you know the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan,
Of course.
right? So, or if you've seen the Rambo 3 movie, then you know that the Soviets occupied Afghanistan and America kept in, you know, around 1987 or something.
Right.
So that's the era when most of the story takes place. So the idea is that the guy you see on the cover, this guy, he's called Iron Star. So he's like Soviet Union's version of Iron Man. And so he's
Hey, that's
already
called Crimson Dynamo, buddy. I've read plenty Iron Man to know. That's called Crimson Dynamo.
So in this universe, he's called Iron Star. So,
Right.
you know, so, and he's been sent to Afghanistan to basically, you know, neuter the people and try to like take the resources from the land and all. And he's helping Soviet Union quite well. At the same time, the president of America, Steve Rogers, Captain America, the super
President
soldier,
America.
he's now the president. He wants to go into like the Soviet Union, Afghanistan. Right. He wants to bring the American forces and American troops there. So yeah, so it deals with Vietnam War, like, you know, it deals with how the situation was so bad in Russia that, you know, people were actually, they were picking up kids from their houses and putting them in the army and forcing them to, you know, training them and all. So so culturally speaking, it's a 20th century book. Like it kind of tells you about, and the theme is war. The Vietnam War, the Soviet Union War, the Afghan War, what happens with them. And so it feels very out there. It feels like, yeah, probably this shit happened, you know. Right. So and the way this guy deals with it, Dennis Camp, I mean, you know, his writing is flawless. And I had to read it like 2 times to get everything. So it's not, so these are not only the 2 characters, there's also this Afghan girl who's trying to like do the best for her country and all, you know. And yeah, and she's probably in a, it's hinted that she's in a relationship with Soviet Iron Man, Soviet Tony Stark. So it's pretty good. The writing is awesome. The artwork is also phenomenal. The lettering, the coloring, everything feels like a kind of like a Afghan War 1980s doomsday kind of a book, you know. So yeah, so I kind of liked it. I didn't like it, I loved it, to be honest, you know. So yeah, it does the job, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I hope this is probably one of the best things I've ever read this year. So, you know, I hope so. It ends well too. You know, the landing is what matters. That's what you remember at the end of the day. But the start has been phenomenal. It's pretty awesome, bombastic, you know. So it gives you the feels. It's one of those kind of books. So
cool. All right, and then for rest are small press indie books. I have 2 books from IDW, 1 book from Ablaze and 1 book from Xenoscope. So let me just go maybe the IDW first. I'm going to do my pick of the week. Okay, it's Dark Space Wildfire #2. It's written by Scott Snyder, art by Hayden Sherman. This book's already been optioned by Universal Pictures to be some sort of project. I think it's probably a movie. So the basic premise is these are 5 prisoners in California. They're being used as firefighters. You got it?
It is Dark Space Wildfire, right?
Yeah, #2. And this is the Sorrentino cover.
Okay.
Yeah. So issue 1, what they tell you in issue 1 was they're about to go on a heist, and all of them dies. So then from that on, they just tell you the story, what leads up to it. And then these 5 female prisoners, right? They're being used as firefighters because, you know, there's a lot of forest fire in the California area, year after year. And then one of them says they're at the area where they're supposed to go put out fire. There is a house owned by her previous employer, and if you can get a flash drive, you could steal all his cryptocurrency, like hundreds of millions of dollars worth. It's like, why don't then no one's gonna be there because the wildfire. We could break into that house, and I could put all the money into the flash drive. Once we got out of here, we could split the money 5 ways. So this is about that heist. And then issue 2 is they're planning to actually go do this. And early on, looks like everything's going out smoothly. Then the last page reveals that something's not right. For me, I have a love and hate relationship with Scott Snyder. Sometimes I love his stuff, and sometimes I can't stand his stuff. But so far, this is very good. And also, the interesting thing is Scott Snyder decided to pick this subject. If you know, look, I'm not sure how much you know about American politics. Is that the Vice President Kamala Harris? She got heavily criticized when she was the Attorney General of California, where she kept people in prison longer because when they're up for parole, she denied lots and lots of them because she needed these prisoners to do these do firefighter jobs because they only get paid like $2 a day. And so I'm surprised he picked this subject, but it's very well written. The Hayden Sherman's art works perfectly for it, and it's my pick of the week. And watch the movie if it comes out.
Absolutely. So you see the real world stuff and the history behind it. That's the subject matter that works.
Right.
All the superhero content and everything which is there. It's still those real world stories which you associate with, like California wildfires, or in my case, the Afghan war.
Right.
That's
what prisoners get forced to do. Very dangerous jobs for $2 an hour.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? The dialogue is very well written. Scott Snyder. I think Scott Snyder has done a really good job in this so far. And it's only a 5-issue miniseries. Yeah. And again, he already told you what's going to happen at the end. But this is one of those. It's like watching a movie.
That's the way it should be. You don't need like 10,000.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Just do 5.
So I think I'm in for all 5 issues.
Yeah.
And let's see where it goes. So far, 2 issues in, I'm totally loving it.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And next one is True Cult #1. I don't know the creative team. Scott Bryan Wilson and Liana Kangas.
Okay.
Well, so the basic storyline is that this guy, right, the main character, he works for a fast food joint. And he's been flipping burgers for 15 years. He has nothing going on in life, right? He has no love interest. Basically, he's kind of a loser. He finds a gun, and he decided to go on a robbery streak inside the mall that he's working at.
Okay.
And he accidentally steals a package that was supposed to be a supernatural weapon, and these satanic cult is going after him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting topic. I basically the most of this book is just him reflecting his life of being a loser, and then the last 2 pages, gives you the big cliffhanger. I don't know. I'm sure it could go really fun and crazy.
Yeah. And
I do like to see where the storyline is going, but I don't think I'm going to invest, paying full price for this book.
Right.
When
3.99, 5.99.
Huh? It's $3.99. Yeah, $3.99. Okay. But I think if when TFAW usually have their dollar sale, and they happen to have the rest of the couple issues going next year, I'm gonna pick it up. But I don't think I'm ready to invest full price for this book. It's not bad, and they could really go some interesting ways with this, some really crazy ways with this. Okay. But that first issue just didn't hook me enough for me to continue to buy this on a monthly basis.
Who is the publisher again?
IDW. Also IDW.
Also IDW.
See it?
Yeah.
True Cult.
I was just looking if I can find the cover to just display it so that everyone can see that. So just give me a moment. Let me see if I can find it. IDW covers should be there. What's it called again? True Cult, right?
True Cult, yeah.
WSP, definitely. If you see it, just stop me.
All right.
IDW. Okay, there we go. We have IDW. Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, True Colors.
Which okay, so
Yeah.
whatever which you have, I don't think they have. So
Yeah, they're there. That's what you're pointing at right at it.
Absolutely.
That's the cover.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hello, here I got two more indies, so let's let you go first, and I'll finish us off.
Okay, finish us off.
Non-sexually, of course.
Okay, thank you for adding that. Thank you for clarifying that, Ben. So okay, I'm going to go with my favorite publication. Can you guess which one?
I think some Penthouse Comics.
Sorry, it's not that.
Oh, all right.
As much as you want it to be, it's not that.
Look, I think it's the first. I think it's the first thing on the. I think the Dynamite's all the way on top.
Okay. Is it?
I think it's even above Marvel for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that's why.
These guys are smart, man.
They like the sexy covers too, but you can't blame them.
Oh yeah, there you go. So that's Dynamite, and of course it's going to be a Red Sonia
Lady
because
Hell.
I'm wearing the T-shirt, man. Look at that.
It's not Lady Hell #1.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, so it's basically Immortal Red Sonia,
Yeah.
issue number 5. And yeah, I mean, Immortal Red Sonia is, it's again, Red Sonia is like Batman, so she's got multiple storylines going.
Yeah,
you know.
sure.
So this is called Immortal Red Sonia. It's written by Dan Abnett. Dan Abnett is a pretty good writer, you know, in general. So this is basically kind of taking Red Sonia. So somehow, you know, she Red Sonia, as you know, has like a standard, like a chainmail bikini. That's her costume. So what Dan Abnett does is he takes the chainmail bikini and makes it into a chainmail armor. And now this armor has been possessed by the soul of a demon, and she can't get it off. So and the demon says that, okay, you have to go to this land for me and do a bunch of tasks. Turns out that land is like Camelot. So she's in this Arthurian legendary realm, and she's looking for Merlin, basically. And this is an issue where, and the armor is guiding her. Now you go here, do this kind of like tasks. And the ultimate goal is she finds the Excalibur sword, and she wants to bring like Arthur Pain Dragon back to life. So that's the whole idea. This issue, she finds Lancelot in a mysterious cave. And it's all about bringing, so there's like so Lancelot has lost his mind, and her job is to like cure him by putting him into a pool of magical water. And then, and at the same time, then Lancelot will probably, so what the armor tells her is, if you bring him back to his senses, I will leave you and I will go to Lancelot. Okay. So you'll be free of the curse. But there is a twist. And that's what the whole book revolves around. So it's basically Red Sonia in Camelot land. You know, she's still the fierce warrior she is. She can cut, there are demons, there are dragons, there are everything. All the lore is still there, but it's a different twist on it. It's, and you've seen the movie The Green Knight by any chance? You've heard of it?
Not yet. I heard it's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So this deals with the Arthurian legend of the Green Knight, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, the Green Knight shows up a lot in that Once and Future book I read.
Absolutely. So this is because that's also dealing with Arthurian legend also. Right. So this is Red Sonia in that world, and look at her red pants, man.
Why is she even bothering wearing pants? Disappointing. Thumbs down.
Come on. You don't. It's the beauty of it, you know. So anyway, so that the Red Sonia was it's pretty brilliant because Dan Abnett is writing it, so his writing is phenomenal. He's got me invested in the lore and the characters and all. The other one is, I think, the Mirka Andolfo Red Sonia book. That's kind of losing me a little bit, so I might just drop that and read this. Immortal Red Sonia is pretty good. I mean, if you can ever find it in a collected edition, if you are into Arthurian legends and stuff, then it's pretty decent. So go for it. I will be picking up Red Sonia for the rest of my life. So, you know, so T-shirt man again. If I buy a T-shirt, that means I love the character.
You know, you need to save up to for that way. Conan number 24, the first appearance of Red Sonia one of these days.
One of these days, yeah, CGC 9.8, definitely.
That's right. It's only like $2,500.
I even like the 1983 Red Sonia movie, which people consider atrocious, but yeah.
Well, was all right. It was kind of fun.
It was kind of fun. And
Yeah.
and there was a Rose McGowan movie Robert Rodriguez was going to direct. It never happened. It never they did an amazing cool poster of Rose McGowan as Red Sonia. I was like freaking out. Oh my God, this is it. This is it. They're going to nail it. Never happened. So yeah, I hope there is a Red Sonia movie in the future. Dynamite, make it happen.
Sure. Whoever owns the rights for this movie, for the Red Sonia characters, make it happen. Lohit wants a movie, buddy.
Absolutely. And the movie which you want is called, and the movie which Ben wants is called Man Goat and Bunny Man.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, my next book is Promethe1313.
This is also from who?
Ablaze. I think you gotta keep going, buddy. Scroll.
I gotta keep going.
Keep going.
Where the wind takes me.
Right there. Next one, the middle cover. The face cover. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. Anyways, Promethe1313, written by Andy Diggle, who's a former Avengers writer. It's all right. I think I talked about this first issue before. It's basically about this woman. She was talking, prophesied the end of the world because she was abducted by aliens in her youth. So she starts seeing visions of the end of the world. And then this issue where this end of the world cult kidnaps her and trying to get her to because they know something's. Well, one of them is works for the government. He knows that the end of the world is coming. He needs her vision to find out where to go to this time portal to prevent this end of the world from happening. And 1313 is actually the time when the end of the world starts. And so also on the other part of the story is that this space shuttle, they got pulled from the Earth's gravitational system and was captured by aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. It's I think it's a fun read. It's if you like all that end of the world doomsday prophecy plus little UFO alien thing. Yeah, man. I don't know what.
Do you feel like the story is going somewhere, or is it just meandering, or like?
Well, we're only 2 issues in. I think they're already giving us a lot of the storyline.
Okay.
Do
you dig the artwork? Do you dig the artwork?
Artwork works fine. It's nothing, there's nothing too flashy, but it tells a solid story, right? Even Martinberg, he does the job just fine. You don't need to be Jim Lee to to have a flashy art for you.
Not at all.
You could tell a story, with your art. That's all that matters. You don't have to be like,
So he gets the job done, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So Andy Diggle has been a good writer for me. Green Arrow year 1 was awesome.
Right.
His Hellblazer stuff is great. The Losers, I like The Losers, Vertigo book. Yeah. So Andy Diggle is a veteran, so I know he knows how to write comics. So he's going to create something good with this. And
once it's collected, let me tell you. Once I'm gonna finish the storyline, if it's worth picking up, I'll let you know. All right.
Okay.
But so far, 2 issues in, it's got me continuing to hook me on to read the next issue. It's pretty good.
That's cool, man.
1313 by Ablaze.
Awesome.
And my final book is also Lohit's favorite book. Is from Xenoscope. Let's see if we can find that cover, buddy. Keep going.
Because why wouldn't it be, right?
Oh, yeah, there we go. The middle one.
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't? Look at the cover.
Look at the cover. All right. Man, God, and Bunny Man, Volume 2, Number 2.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
This is actually a very fun. Despite the cover, this is actually a solid story behind this. And in the first series, you were introduced to Mango and Bunny Man. These two, creatures hunt demons and dark creatures. This second series, we delve into Bunny Man's origin. His father is an alien from a different dimension, a warrior bunny, Lohit, a warrior bunny, and that was captured by the American government.
What could be more cooler in life than having a warrior bunny?
Yeah. I want a warrior bunny.
Question to the internet: what could be more cooler than having a warrior bunny?
That's true.
That's what we look for.
So Bunny Man went to find on the trip to find his father, and they were able to reunite in this book. But it turned out it's not as what he seems to be. What happens? what devastating information you get. You got to read this book. You just have to read this book. Oh my goodness.
You gotta read
it's
it.
a fun book.
Right.
Hey, I don't know who Joe Brusa is or the artist Alfredo Reyes, but hey, they give me a fun book to read. We got blood, we got guts, we got violence, we got bunnies, we got goats, we got half naked chicks. What more do you want?
We got bunnies and we got Playboy bunnies.
Yeah, yes. And Jackrabbit. There's a Jackrabbit in this book.
I mean,
how are you gonna say no to Jackrabbits? You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like fun, man. Sounds like a party.
It is a party. There's 3-issue miniseries. So next issue will be last issue.
Tell me one thing.
Yeah.
Is Manboat and Moneyman the first? There's a volume 1 and this is volume 2.
Right.
Okay.
This is
so
volume 2.
The volume 1 is collected already. There's a trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You gonna give it a shot?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know how you like it. I thought it was a lot of fun to read.
Absolutely.
Again,
I haven't got a Xenoscope book in years. So
right.
I know that Xenoscope is like Dynamite who do the fancy lady covers. But
Sure.
I mean, I was never like, they have like pulpy storylines and stuff. So
Sure.
I was not like, because look, Dynamite has sexy covers of all their female characters
Right.
and stuff, but their stories are also good. So Xenoscope, I never like actually, I mean, they do all these classics, like they do Alice in a sexy way. They do like
Right.
Robin Hood in a sexy way. So, but I don't know how good the stories are. So probably it's going to be one of my Xenoscope.
I have never read a Xenoscope book until the first Mango and Bunny Man series, which I had a blast reading. I was like, wow, I'm surprised how solid the writing is and how much fun I had, reading it. Well, on the cover, you're like, oh, what the hell is this? Why are you being a pervert?
Look,
but hey,
Xenoscope has been there for a long time in the comic book industry, so they're not somebody new. I mean, their name is known.
I think
they don't drop like 10 issues, but they drop like 1 or 2 issues every week. They're there. So they're there, and they're like, so definitely they're making money. It's profitable. So, so yeah. So
Mango and Bunny Man, people.
Sounds pulpy, man. Sounds pulpy. Sounds cheesy and sounds totally up my alley. So yeah, I'm going to check that out.
Well, that is the last of our books. Next week, maybe we'll be back for another one. I do have about 6-7 books next week. So probably have enough material to make a video.
What's the best book coming out next week?
I think for me it's detective.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me look at what my pre-orders for next week.
Is the Donny Cates book also coming out next week? The Vanish, whatever it's called?
No, Vanish is not until September.
Okay.
Let's see. I have Department of Truth. I got Detective. I got Miles Morales. I got Radiant Black. I got Rogues Gallery. And there's also a Detective 27 facsimile edition, which is first appearance of Batman. I mean, I will never be able to afford like the original, but I'm gonna pick this up because it's the only way I'm gonna get it. But yeah, so I got like 5-6 books next week. Should be enough. Lohit's probably gonna have 15 books like he always does.
We did what, like almost 18 books this week. 9 between.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we have so many different. I think outside World's Finest, we all have different books this week, which is pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool because you get like, a perspective on everything. Right. So, yeah. And that gives you more to read.
A lot. And also a lot of indies, which is great. That's what we're talking about,
Absolutely, man. Support the small guy, with indies. DC and Marvel, whether we read them or not, will always make money.
Right. So, Warner, Discovery, Disney, they don't need the money. All right. These smaller presses, they really do need the support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, I think we're
people. Lohit, my friend, we're gonna ask these nice people, what did you read this week? And what you can recommend us to read, about what you bought. And I think let's finish it off. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And so whenever we have a new video, you'll be the first one to know. All right. Thanks for your support. Have a great weekend. Lohit, go eat some poutine.
Take care, guys, and keep on mapling.
All right. Live long and prosper.
Live long.